goes, I've got some music you can have. Bear in mind she's 4. Goes, I've got some music you can have. Squeezes out a fart. Nugget of shit comes out, falls on the carpet. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this week's episode of WTAF. My name's Gareth. His name is
Richard.
What a time to be alive.
Oh yeah. What time to be a conspiracy theorist? Hey?
Man, it's crazy town. Um, if you're feeling a bit overwhelmed with it all, head over to supremecbd.uk. Use the code WTAF. You get 40% off everything.
And if you would like to understand why the conspiracy theorists are being proven right more often than not these days, head over to iconic.com where you can see all our previous stuff for the last 7 years and all of David's stuff, David Icke stuff, who's your dad, that he's been doing for 35 plus years. And yeah, here we are. Here we
Man.
are.
So last week, obviously, we'll get on to Eggcock and all that stuff. But
I actually asked Juliet about that.
about the Eggcock, what did she
Yep.
say?
Tiny.
Small egg? Quail's egg?
Quail's
Quail.
egg. Yeah.
What you really want to go for, you want to sort of go for dinosaur egg cock, don't you? I guess that's sort of the dream.
Rhino cock.
Last week we did What If. We filmed it on the Wednesday, right? And then something happened that evening. No, we filmed it, sorry, lies. We filmed it, fake news. We filmed it on the Thursday. And then on the Thursday evening, I messaged you to say something's just happened in the house.
You did.
I'm gutted we've already filmed What If. Right, I'll save this for next week. So girls are getting ready for a bath, right? So probably about 8 o'clock at night because for some reason they don't sleep lately. And Law, my eldest, she goes, "Can we have a disco in the bath?"
She didn't,
Obviously,
she didn't mean a biscuit.
obviously, yes. So we get sort of these lights, strobe lights, and like disco light things that we've got. Stick them in the bathroom,
Right.
and then she says, "Mum, can we put some music on?" Like meaning like can obviously Gemma put some music on her phone. At which point, Ophi, who's 4 and is in the middle of getting undressed to get in the bath, goes, I've got some music you can have. Bear in mind she's 4, goes, I've got some music you can have. Squeezes out a fart, nugget of shit comes out, falls on the carpet. Right? So obviously everyone's howling, to which point Ophi then is embarrassed. She laughs about it now, but is embarrassed, starts crying, telling everyone like. So I sort of, she sits herself on the toilet, obviously, because she's aware that there's movement going on. So I tried to give her a cuddle, like, come on. And she's like,
We've all done
don't
it.
look at me. Don't look at me. Right. And I'm trying not to laugh. And I'm understanding that she's obviously embarrassed because like, no one wants that to happen. And then I messaged you. Bad life,
That's
innit?
great. I didn't expect that, to be honest. The whole
Shit on the
disco
carpet.
thing, disco biscuits. You didn't even get to the music. So you
Didn't
literally
even get to the music, mate. The disco didn't happen at that point. Like it was, the disco was finished.
you
Let's
shit
just
and
have
bust.
let's just have a quick bath and go night night, shall we? And we'll start again tomorrow, as with a clean slate. But luckily for people that are probably wondering at home, it was just a dry nugget, so no real problem. Basically, bit of toilet tissue, pick it up, job's
Right in
done.
the bath. On the
Straight in the
floor.
bath. Yeah. Straight in the pack of Maltesers. Gemma won't notice.
Oh, I remember when oh, that's a great story. Nothing. Well, something similar happened. We had one of Arthur's friends round, and he had an accident as well. And that's like strange because it's someone else's kid, isn't it? Um,
We or poo?
yeah, poo.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, someone else's kid as well. So you're like, I don't know what to do. So we just stuck him out in the garden and let him dry out. No, we didn't. We're joking. But
It's
yeah.
different for a bloke, though, isn't it? If that happened
Oh
to
yeah.
me, I'd have gone, Gemma, you got to deal with
Well,
that,
no,
mate.
Sam was down the stairs. I was upstairs pretending to be a conspiracy theorist, working. Sorry. Um, yeah. So I didn't deal with that, although I went downstairs and heard all about it. She likes to tell me about these things. So yeah, that was a bit awkward
That's
as
weird when
well.
it's someone else's kid, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, I find it awkward for a bloke. Like, if I'm somewhere like a play park with the kids, and a kid falls over, they run up to the first grown up that doesn't look threatening, which thankfully tends to be me. I obviously don't look threatening. And then you're like, oh, like you want to console them, don't you? Obviously. And you're like, oh, is your mum about or your
Yeah,
dad about? And you're looking about desperately going, please be looking.
yeah, you do. Yeah, yeah, you
Yeah.
do. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I
Um,
find that though, Rich. I found that we went to something, or we go to something called Clip and Climb, which are these basically these climbing walls. The kids love it. And me and Jay and his boys went last weekend. And I'm a magnet for other kids to tell me how good they are at what they've done.
oh, I get that. I get that
Yeah.
too. Yeah, I get that a
And
lot.
it's cute, and I think kids are just cool.
Yeah,
And like, can you watch me do this? And I'm looking, but I'm always conscious because of people's perceptions of like, where's the parent? I
yeah,
don't want the parent to think I'm just hanging out with an 8-year-old. Like, who's that weird bloke? So
yeah,
I'm like looking around, going really loudly, yeah, yeah, yeah. I've got children here too. I'm not here on my own.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you go, yeah, just go to Arthur. Arthur, come and look at this. Come and
Yeah.
look at this.
Be a
Come and look at
witness.
this.
Be a
Yeah.
witness.
Bit of witness, stand there. Look at this. Look how good he is. Look, you're better. Look how good at this. It's the same thing. Yeah. The
Yeah.
ball pits are a scary one because you'll sit in a ball pit and you're like, the kids are messing around and Arthur's trying to jump in the ball pit and Ollie's got to the point now where he's old enough to do the same. And then suddenly you'll be sitting there and you turn around and some kid that's been in there for 15 minutes but under the balls will turn up, put his head up and you're like, what the fuck did you come
Yeah.
from?
How long have you been here?
Yeah, how long have you been here? And which ones am I sitting on any?
See, I find because I live on the Derbyshire Nottinghamshire border, like literally right on it, basically, give or take a few hundred meters. But in Derbyshire, if I go to a Derbyshire soft play, it's a certain way. If I go to a Nottinghamshire soft play and go in the ball pit, like
What do you
I've been,
mean?
I've been there when they found a vape before, like one of those big electric ones, they're like massive metal
Yeah,
things. Yeah. Oh, hang on. Oh, yeah. And they found a vape in a ball pit, and you're like, am I? Oh, I am in Nottinghamshire, aren't I?
it's
Yeah.
got some blades in there.
We don't have that in Derbyshire. No, there's no needles in Derbyshire.
Well, and in the city centre, there's a few. Well,
Oh,
this
mate, there is.
this
There's
world has gone mad. Then the like they're the things that keep us all sane. We've had some lovely comments about how this podcast has kept people sane for 7 years. It's kept us sane. We are in. I don't know whether like we are. The dam has broken, isn't it? The Epstein dam has broken. So I'm sure we're gonna have to cover this a lot in here. I've tried to put some funny ones in today as well, so it isn't all Epstein related. But you go first with your first WTAF.
Well, can I just before we get into Epstein, because that's like, of course, my WhatsApps are mainly made of that. I've got Epstein, Russia, Eggcock, Trump, anti-Semitism, and then I'm moving on to some stuff which I think is mad but quite funny.
Okay.
Did I tell you the story, because we're on the subject of soft play, about Gemma pushing a kid down the stairs at a soft play? Did I tell you that story?
No. Did it go?
And completely justified.
Okay.
So this kid, it was in Nottinghamshire. This kid was, I don't know how old, 6 or 7, and was just an horrible little kid and was like causing trouble, hitting other kids, and just generally being mean. Parent,
Let's put this point. He's not dead. The kid's not dead.
no, kid's not dead, and they were soft stairs because it's a soft play. But the parent is like sat on its mobile phone. You know how you get those parents at soft play, and you look at
Yeah.
them, you think, why did you have kids?
Yeah.
And what's funny, if I'm at soft play and I get a message on my phone or it's important, I'm really vocal about it. I'm like, yeah, I'm just quickly doing work emails, just checking. It's really important what I'm doing. I'm not neglecting my kids and I'm not doom scrolling Facebook.
Everything
This
is
is
about
important. This is work.
it's performance art, isn't it?
Yeah,
Out. Yeah, you're performing for the other parents. Look how like, I just work all the time. Yeah, just bring the kids here, and I'm juggling everything. Juggling everything.
I say it. But the parent in this particular instance, if you can call them that, wasn't juggling work, was basically just like looking at God knows what on Facebook, probably.
Tits.
Um, it was a woman, but still, you don't know, dear. Could have been looking at tits. So Gemma's obviously looking at the mum, like, for God's sake, like, can you come and do some parenting? Because his kid's causing like havoc. So next thing, Gemma's like, well, I'm gonna have to be the parent then, and so told the kid off, but very sort of like, can you stop doing that, please? Right. This is where it gets weird. The kid went and spat in her face,
Fucking hell.
spat in Gemma's face, and I was like, because I wasn't there. I said to Gemma afterwards, like, what did you do? She was like, well, sort of like to bite my lip a little bit, and then a couple of minutes went by, and the kid walked past me, so I just like sort of just put my foot out and tripped it, and it fell downstairs. I was like, okay, is the child okay? He's like, yeah, it just went running back to its mum and like whatever. I was like, I've never been so proud of you, man.
Brilliant. Yeah. Although she sneakily got it as well. She's clever.
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
I'd have just gone straight in there with a like an elbow to the back of the head. But
Oh, absolutely. And that's the thing for me. I'd rather someone slapped me around the face than spat in my face. Like spitting is
oh
just
yeah,
so minging, isn't it?
gross. Yeah,
Gross.
yeah.
Anyway, yeah, go on. You,
So
you,
so
you,
far
you
we've
go
well
then.
so far today we've had spit and nuggets of poo. So if you're not enjoying the podcast or you like what we do, head over to you go with your first one.
Enjoy your dinner. So today in Parliament, the politicians are all still talking about Epstein, but not talking about Epstein really. They're obviously running cover for Israel massively, and it's really embarrassing to watch. They're all up there talking about, oh, was he working for Putin? Was it a Russian? And you're like, no one buys that.
No.
No one. Like you must feel embarrassed saying it. And you see Nigel Farage, the fake alternative tosspot. He said the same thing today. He gave it the. It looks like he was working for the Russians, and you're like, this is actually a humiliation ritual at the minute.
Well, what it is, I've actually got the same one. British MP claims Epstein must have been spying for Putin, which is hilarious. Um, but what I think this is for me is a pick your sides because it's clearly obvious that Epstein was deeply involved with Israel.
Yeah.
We all know that. We all know he was a Mossad agent. But go above the countries, we know that none of this matters. These borders, they don't have borders.
No.
So you've got Putin.
What the hell?
What you done?
No, I just started playing a video. I made a video earlier, so it must have just either just finished rendering and then it's just popped up. Sorry, mate.
You're all right. It's fine. Um, um, anyway, yeah. So Putin and clearly he works for Epstein was more in with Israel.
Yeah.
But the whole point is so bloody obvious that what it does, it gets a kickback from the public going, no, Putin's the good guy. He's Satanism
Oh, are you
in,
thinking that way?
yeah, they've clearly, so people are going to stick up for Putin because it's blatantly nonsense. But when you look into the files, and I put one out yesterday because I've been sort of going through them here and there when I get time, there's one of the Epstein files that blatantly talk about Putin using Chabad to keep an eye on the Russo Jews, basically, in Israel and around the world. So he's deeply involved with Chabad. Obviously, all the other guys are Netanyahu, Trump are. So what I think this does is basically give Putin the good guy they're picking on him situation. That's
Right.
the kickback. But when you go above all of this, they're all in the same cult.
Well, they're all in the same cult. What I find hilarious is the fact that Netanyahu is more redacted in the Epstein files than Trump. Like,
Yeah,
that's crazy, isn't it? In
yeah, yeah,
terms of power dynamic.
yeah,
Because I've seen a lot of the Israel firsters coming out saying, oh, you anti Semites said it was Israel and Netanyahu's not in there. Well, he is, mate. He is in there. It's just they've redacted. So when there's even images of Epstein with Netanyahu that he's put out in emails saying like this is I visited Netanyahu but they've redacted the images.
yeah.
So that's evidence of how the power dynamic works in terms of who's in
And we
charge.
know
For sure.
also that, yeah, exactly. And we also know that is it Barak, the other guy, the Israeli guy, we know that he's deeply involved with these guys. But what this does is it holds it at a point, and I'm not saying these MPs understand this, but the higher up ones will, that this holds it at a point that you'll pick a side within the cult. So you'll go Putin's side because he's, oh, look, and he's saying the West is satanic and all of this crap, which the Christians will jump on. So you're positioning a good guy against the bad guy. Everybody knows that that's, overtly nonsense that Epstein was working for Putin, but he was in a way because they're all working for so much higher ups together. So
Yeah.
there is a truth to it, but it's been framed in a completely different way to create goodies and baddies within the same cult. So you're staying within the cult. You're not going. They're all just an absolute bunch of satanic morons that are doing this stuff.
It's also a test of compliance, I think, in terms of the politicians, particularly. The media are bad enough, but when you look at who's writing the articles that are blaming it on Russia, they have something in common, every single one of them, pretty much. But in terms of the politicians, if you can look at these Epstein files and see where he says in his own words that all roads lead to Tel Aviv, that he says
Mm,
in his own words that he works on behalf of representing the Rothschilds,
yeah.
and go, oh, that's definitely the Russians then
But
that in
this,
itself is you've humiliated yourself to a point of you're quite clearly handing over your soul to them. Like
yeah,
it's almost like some kind of ritual, like in football, when a football team makes a new signing of a player, the player has to get up and sing a song in front of the whole squad and basically
mm,
make himself look like a twat. Like
right.
when I played beach soccer and I first get into the England team, like I was a knobhead. I took a guitar, mate, and played one of my own. Do you know what I mean? But most guys that play football can't sing for shit. They can't dance for shit. So
Yeah,
they have to get up and sing a song and embarrass themselves. And it's supposed to be good for morale and it,
right. Yeah,
but whatever. But it's almost like that. It's like by saying it's definitely the Russians, what you're doing is you're standing up in front of us and you're making yourself look like a complete knobhead.
yep,
And that is enough of a sign to us that, yeah, no, you're one of us.
yeah.
Okay.
I
You will
completely agree.
submit.
Yeah. At that level, absolutely. And then there's that next level, as I mentioned, that says puts Putin in a good light and everybody's picking on him.
Yeah.
And clearly but the real truth is they're all equally as culpable as each other. But it keeps you in that realm of not looking at the last thing they want us to do is to look at all of them and go, bloody hell, they're all connected, which is the big
Yeah.
thing that comes out of this Epstein files is that they're all in on it, and not the lower level like these Pratts and MPs, but the big players in terms of names on the world stage. They are all connected. So there is an element of truth to this, but it's just been reframed in a completely different way. Farage isn't lying, but he doesn't know he's telling the truth either.
No,
That makes sense.
I think the thing that I think is quite poignant, given the fact that they've had how many years to sanitize these files and to redact what they've, so we're allowed to see what we're allowed to see,
Yeah.
basically, and but even with that, there's still so much damning stuff in there, and there's so much stuff that like proves that point that you've just said. It doesn't matter. This isn't a partisan thing.
No, it's
It's
not.
it's an us and them.
Mm.
And to be fair to her, like Marjorie Taylor Greene, like I had her as the hero of the week or heroine of the week in my show this week. Now I know she's a politician, and so I don't fully trust her as I wouldn't trust any politician. But to be fair, if it wasn't for her and Massey really pushing for these Epstein files, I'm not even sure we'd get what we've got yet.
No, I completely agree.
And she tweeted, didn't she? She came out and said that this proves that we don't vote our way out of this because both sides of the political sphere are fucking goblins.
And that's what
And
they
that's
don't
what we've
want.
been trying to say for a long time.
Yeah. So this is the FBI files, the CHS investigation. It was in the Epstein files. So CHS advised Chabad is doing everything that they can do to co-opt the Trump presidency, which is nonsense because obviously he's bailed out by the Rothschilds a long time ago. Chabad is basically state-sanctioned Judaism. It is used by Putin to keep tabs on all Russo-Jewish oligarchs. On the day Trump was elected president, Ivanka Trump and Jared were at the gravesite of Rabbi Schneerson, which you spelt wrong, but Schneerson, he was as well, who was the most powerful rabbi in a Chabad network. Jared didn't disclose his stake in Cadre because of its ties to the Russian state. So he's pointing out there that, yes, Putin uses Chabad as well. They're a crime syndicate. So they're all in on it together. I'm not saying they like each other, but there is no Epstein spied for Putin and Epstein, no, he didn't, he spied for the Russians. It's all the same thing. They might fight with each other amongst themselves, but it's all the same thing. So what this does is it puts Putin in the hero light. You've got, and then when we said about the technate coming round the pincer movement, you've got Trump and that lot coming around that way through Greenland, Canada. And then you've got what's come around the other way, China and Russia. But they're not. That's all one pincer movement. And that's what this could do. It could show that none of them, they're all putting pressure on either side of the pincer movement, the tweezer movement, whatever you want to call it. So we're all stuck in the middle because they're all at the top joined together. And that's what this really needs to do. So what they do by this is they put you on the Putin side and go, oh yeah, he's against Satanism, he's not in the list and he's not on the files. He is in the files. It openly says in the FBI investigation into him that he's attached to Chabad, the same as Trump, the same as all of these guys. So you know, it depends how they've framed it completely differently, and it frustrates me a bit because it's obvious they're all just as corrupt as each other.
Yeah, I think Trump's handling it badly, though, isn't he? Like,
Yes,
I'm finding it funny how people are still like, people like Alex Jones are still defending Trump. So it's like everyone in the Epstein files is guilty apart from Trump. He's the only one that's not guilty. And I'm still seeing people saying, but Trump pushed to get the Epstein files out. No, he didn't.
no, he
No,
didn't.
no, he seriously fucking didn't. He literally got made to do it through legislation and then was still over a month late in doing it.
Yeah,
Like, let's not pretend that Trump is behind
yeah,
releasing it. Absolute nonsense. He just made a campaign promise that he thought is MAGA base would let him get away with, and they
which it
didn't.
did. Well, yeah, they didn't, and he didn't do it. So this is rolling out everywhere. So the next my one I've got is Lord Stockwood, a lord, big lord,
Gaylord.
Gaylord, yeah, Gaylord
I never
5.
understood that saying when I was a kid at school. Did you? Someone say so and so's a Gaylord. So I don't know what that means,
I don't
actually.
still don't know what that means. It's just like
No,
the
I don't
best
either.
gay.
If you comment on beneath.
Yeah, if you know what a Gaylord is, then let us know. A universal basic income could be used to soften hit from AI job losses in UK. And I know
Yeah.
you saw this one because you shared this. Insane, isn't it? Problem, reaction, solution. Everything we've said. He's a lord. He's a gay lord. Um, and saying that AI is the problem. The stuff they're rolling out that created the problem to universal basic income. I mean,
Yeah.
it's so. It is the season of the conspiracy theorist, isn't it, this year,
Big time.
2026?
They were talking about universal basic income in the same week they were talking about 15-minute cities, in the same week that Shabama Mahmood, the Home Secretary, was talking about rolling out what she wanted to be the panopticon, wasn't it? Was so the eyes of the state are on you all the time. They were saying it in the same week.
Yeah.
What was funny about this Lord was I'd done trending that morning on universal basic income, and he literally came out that afternoon and said it. And it's like, this isn't being Mystic Meg. This is just how embarrassingly predictable these people are. Like, they don't actually have an original thought.
No,
So they're so easy to predict. Like, because there's a script and they're going to follow it. Where you'd have like, whose line is it anyway? Where you'd have a really good ad libber, and they would come on and they say the line, and then something would change, so they'd react to it. These people can't do that.
no, of course they
Like,
can't. No.
they can't. They It's not what it says here though.
Yeah.
It's so embarrassing to watch. Yet I'm enjoying it because they're showing themselves to be who they are, aren't they?
Well,
There's a lot
exactly.
of
And
people seeing through it.
that's why it's important with the Putin thing is not to side with him and get pulled into that he's the good guy thing because they are all horrific on the other side, but he's in with them. They need to keep you in that realm, in that theater of him being the one who's picked on. And actually, they're all in on it together. So that this guy would be in the same cult as he would. I'm not saying he even knows that, but they're working towards the same end. So you've got the Technate coming up through Canada, Greenland, Venezuela, and the Virgin Islands, Jeffrey Epstein's island, and that is to do with putting the Technate in place, the Technocracy in place, which includes your universal basic income and your AI. So whether he knows he's working towards, I would say probably fairly well knows because he's a Gaylord. And now you only get to be a Gaylord of that variety if you're in on the cult. And we'd all like to be Gaylords, but not, depends what you're willing to give up for your Gaylordship.
My, I saw um that Junkerman woman. We spoke about her before, didn't we? I got told off by Johnny Vedmore. Did you see that?
No, I
Because I
don't.
saw a story was being shared about how in the Epstein files, obviously Epstein was connected massively into big pharma and into pandemics and stuff like that. Talking about future pandemics and how they could exploit them or whatever.
Right.
Um, so I just reposted that, going, "Do you remember when Nicola Junkerman was or Nicole Junkerman was basically an Epstein. She was a model who was an Epstein associate who suddenly was invited into the NHS, into some health advisory board by
Oh,
Matt
okay.
Hancock during COVID, right? And then he replied to it going, "You can name me," And I was like, "What?" And then I realized he was the one that had written the article exposing it. I didn't remember that. So I
Yeah,
was like, all right, sorry, mate. Like, there's the article. Everyone, like, look at
yeah,
that. Um, Personally, I'd have just private messaged me going, mate, you couldn't credit me, could you? And I'd gone, fuck, sorry, John, I didn't realize, mate. But, whatever.
that's what he's like. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well, you could
But
have done it in a
I
brown
get it.
envelope. You
But I
could have.
get it, on one level. Like,
I get it on one
I
level,
guess
but
he earns, like, that's how he survives through his Substack. So, please, can you quote me? I didn't
yeah,
purposely not quote him. I just didn't realize, to be honest, that it
yeah,
had all come
yeah.
through him. But in these Epstein files, this is how fucked up things are now. Is in it, this woman, asks Epstein to have a baby with her, and where's the best place to do that? And
In the
obviously,
bum.
loads of people are commenting on it, like, fucking how, like, she's an attractive woman, she's a model. Like, what the fuck are these women doing? Like, fawning over people like Epstein? Oh, it's just money. Like, it just goes to show, they want to have kids with these people. Others saying, well, they want their genes and all this kind of stuff for some sort of, petri dish baby. And it is, yeah, I mean, it might be that. But then I'm reading it and I'm like, because these things are so fucked up and there's
Yeah.
so much fucked up in shit in these files of Satanism and all sorts
Yep.
that I don't even know what do you want to have a baby with me really means.
No, it's a good point. It's almost like you want to go halves. Do you want to, yeah, you spit in this dish with me? It's weird. Well, this is the
Well, not even
point.
that. I was going like really fucked up. That's where my mind's at now.
What, eat one?
Well, I don't fucking know.
Well, no, no, I wouldn't be surprised. The
This is the
whole
point.
thing is,
There's so much debauchery in those files
oh,
about
really bad.
that.
So,
I'm
like,
like, I don't even know what anything means anymore, man.
no. And I don't think we're, well, we do and we don't. And I think, like, as I said with the original thing that I did with Juliet, and I think we have done a great job, and I think we should pat ourselves on the back with our Iconic for sticking with this for 2.5 years. Of about this, I woke up underneath a laboratory on paralyzed naked on a laboratory table. That's what she says. Well, then you get the emails from here, Jeffrey Epstein to Brian Bishop, whoever Brian Bishop is. I think he's
Harold's
Jeffrey.
brother.
Harold. I bet he fell off a mountain, didn't he? And come back.
Yeah, forgot it. Thought he was dead and then remembered he wasn't.
Yeah. Off the Epstein Island. So it says, so this is from Jeffrey. Attached as the doc you requested, it's the use of fund spreadsheet for the designer baby and human cloning company he's funding. The subject of the email is designer babies use of funds. And if Jeffrey Epstein goes on to say, this gets us out of our self-funded garage biology phase. Where do you think their garage is? They're messing around with these things are. I don't know. Somebody might have filled in with a
Yeah.
£50,000 cement truck. So gets us out of our garage biology phase to the first live birth of a human designer baby and possibly a human clone within 5 years. This is his emails. Once we reach the first birth, everything changes and the world will never be the same, much less the future of the human species. Attached doc shows 1.7 million a year for up to 5 years and 1 million for the lab setup. So,
Well, they're
you know,
lunatics. They're
they're
lunatics.
lunatics. And I'm not saying that what this has done, whether we believe they were doing these things or not, is open the door for us to have these conversations and say there's some legitimate concerns here. I'm not saying that what Juliet was saying absolutely happened. She might have been drugged. But what I'm saying is some legitimate backing up of emails here to do with this stuff. Where if you gave this to the police, they would have to go and investigate. So this has opened the dam into the weird shit that these people are up to. This is how their mind works. So it shows that conspiracy theorists and these out there questions are legitimate questions. And that's the most important thing to me is that, you can't just dismiss this weird stuff because this is a weird cult doing this stuff. And there's, look, garage biology. No matter what he means by that, we put it in together in the context of everything else. St. Bart's Island with Elon Musk having his Romulus and Remus bloody kid there, 13 kid with Ashley St. Clair on St. Bart's Island. His desperate need to go to Jeffrey Epstein's island and asking for party tips on St. Bart's. There's enough smoke here for people to go, you know what, these questions aren't really that out there to have. And I think that's huge for what we do.
I think also, like in terms of the designer baby aspect, like you look at designer baby, you think, oh, okay, what's that for then? Well, obviously changing human 1.0 to 2.0, which of course
Hmm.
the COVID vaccines will come into. There's loads of stuff like that. There's also the idea that maybe, it's a way of making money from some rich Hollywood family that want their kid to look a certain way, or to have a certain advantage to be a sports person if they've got, fucking, I don't know, fucking fast twitch muscle fibers, they can be a sprinter,
Yeah.
whatever. There might be that sort of thing, and that might be part of it. But then I was looking at it, I'm like, or are they breeding their own fucking victims? Like,
Yeah.
is it a case of, do you know what, this is what I want? Can you breed me a baby that looks like this or has this or whatever? Like, these people are fucked. And
I think you're right. I think they're breeding their own baby farms. John of God was talking about a baby farm with Oprah. They've got, I genuinely believe that it needs to be looked into whether they have kids underground somewhere, as much as we don't want to look at it. There's the evidence there that these facilities actually are in New Mexico. We know that, Dulce. We know that Los Alamos is there. We know that the Trinity site was there. We know that this Trementina Scientology cryogenics site is there, and Zorro Ranch was there. And we know all this stuff. So that legitimizes what we were talking about in terms of, okay, there's enough smoke here to go and investigate it. Maybe let's hope it turns out to be nonsense. Let's hope that these people aren't that sick and mentally disturbed.
well, there was a victim of his who he'd got pregnant. A fucking egg cock had got pregnant, and she. It's in the Epstein files, and she says how the baby was ripped out of her arms after 10 minutes and taken away, never to be seen again. So where the fuck is that child?
There was the other one. Have you seen
Fucked.
the other one of this statement? Like, guys, I know this sounds horrific, and it is horrific, but if you were, and I said this in a podcast last night, if you were one of these poor kids that were involved with this or families involved with this, you'd want people to ask the questions, wouldn't you? Just even if there's one. Even if there's one. So this was a statement from the files as well. I was taken to an underground location. I was blindfolded so I would not know exactly where I was at. It was dark and we went through doors. We went downstairs. There was also an elevator in the location. I was kept in a stall. It looked like a horse stall that had short walls on the side so you could see inside. It wasn't really to keep me and other little girls inside. It was to make it where we could be viewed. Epstein would walk past each girl, including myself, with a lot of men following him, and they would judge us. He told me I was fat and ugly, so that he would. So that's what he called me. Something blanked out, and he said I had to pretend it was him to see if I performed well. He said if I performed well, I would be his girlfriend, and I would be allowed to be upstairs, he called it. This is from the files. I know we don't want to look at this stuff, but if there are any children involved in this, stark as it is, you'd want someone to cry out. When you're crying out like this and go and have a look. There's authorities in the world that can go and have a look at these places. That's all I'm asking. I hope to God I'm wrong. I hope to God we're all wrong. I hope to God that these are just ways of compromising him and none of this is really happening. But I want to know for sure. And I think if there's any chance, they should know for sure. It says in the Virgin Islands, I was something something. They stopped there. I was 17 years old. I was blindfolded and taken to an underground location. It had steps that went down. I was by Jeffrey Epstein. There were other men there that me. I was kept in a stall so the men that could look at me. He said I was an animal and that he was perfect. If I had sex with him, I wouldn't be such an animal. He said I wanted to be because I wanted to be more like him. Do we
Um,
doubt that these people are that sick to do that? I don't doubt that. Look at what
no,
the
I don't doubt that for a minute.
and it's hard to read and it's horrible, but I just feel like once you can't you can't turn away from this stuff and go pretend
It didn't
it
happen.
might not be
No.
possible.
Well, there's
And
so
that's
many people in there that, like, there's so much stuff where they've redacted so Jeffrey Epstein's name's there, but they've redacted the name of the person. And you're like, okay, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt, which is that the reason that name is redacted is because you are now going in and fucking arresting
investigating
them.
it. Yeah.
And because there's there's one that's not redacted where this is extraordinary. So obviously these files have come out. This stuff's out there now. It's fucked. Trump then says that the Department of Justice has got better things to do.
What then look into what I've just read out now.
Exactly. Um, and then he then decides that what the Department of Justice needs to concentrate on, obviously more important than all this stuff, is anti-Semitism at Harvard University. You're like, okay, right, we know who you're owned by, Donald, but you could at least try
Yep.
and make it less obvious. And so he's obsessing about anti-Semitism apparently at Harvard University, which is probably just someone calling out Israel, to be honest, and not looking into the fact that there's a former Harvard professor named in these files in an email exchange with Jeffrey Epstein, where Jeffrey Epstein is saying, "Did you torture her?"
Fucking hell.
Which, no matter what context, like there's no way that's not a normal sentence. So it's not even like you can go, "Oh no, I didn't mean that." So no. That's not a normal sentence. From a paedophile sex trafficker to a university professor, did you torture her? I'll be honest, I'd rather Trump was looking into that than whether someone said some hurty words on campus.
Yeah.
But that's just me. Like, do you know what I mean?
Then you've got Elon Musk going, can I beg him to go to the island with he said, oh, it's all right, I was with my wife. What does that matter?
Well, it
Um,
doesn't make any fucking difference to
no,
these
it just means your
nutcases.
wife's in on it.
Yeah. As if Bill and Hillary aren't in on shit.
Well, exactly, yeah. And then so you got any party tips on St. Bart's? Remember, guys, that this was years, I think it was 2014 that that email was sent, years after Epstein was already a convicted child trafficker. Years after. There's no excuse for that. You all know. There's no excuse for Jeffrey Epstein being best mates with Andrew and Jimmy Savile being best mates with the King of England. We have to come to terms with all the evidence is reporting here, is supporting it. I mean, garage biology, I've got written now in an email. Garage biology. We can get the first human designer baby and possibly human clones within 5 years. That was in 2018. Are we, you
Maybe that's
know,
Starmer. Maybe Starmer's the first attempt.
yeah, maybe he is. Yeah, you'd thought you'd have picked a better one, wouldn't you? I
He
don't
might have
know.
fallen on his sword, mightn't he, by the time this goes out? It's
Maybe.
being widely reported. Thing is, like, and I said this when I saw it yesterday, the fact that they were saying it looks like he could possibly resign. It's like, yeah, okay, the guy's a douche. So if he does resign, by all means, like, let's, crack a tin
Yeah,
and celebrate whatever. But another fucking puppet will be along any
of course it
second.
will.
And because that's all these people are. Like
Yep.
they come in, they serve their purpose. Once they're either surplus to requirements or not doing a very good job
Yep.
of pushing shit through, which he's not, then yeah, give him a because he said, didn't he, in Prime Minister's questions about the US, obviously, in the UK were the two nations that were obviously implicated in the Epstein files majorly, which is funny because then they changed their mind and said it was Russia. Um, but then he said, but there's a third nation, and that they didn't want to talk about certain things because of how that might implicate relations between us and them.
Wonder
And
who
it's
those.
like, well, it's obvious who that is because it ain't Russia because you want relations to be bad between you two, like you're fucking like
Yeah.
garnering for war with them. So it's obvious everyone in that parliament knows who you're talking about. You just can't say it, and the reason you can't say it is because you know that as soon as you do, we get to learn about those Ukrainian rent boys, mate.
Yeah. Yes.
Simple as
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. Why your car was on fire.
And then you
I,
finished.
yeah. But the whole thing is such on. I don't think it's in our lifetime has been on such shaky ground as this. Like, and it's real dark stuff. This changes. This could change the world. And Epstein, it is, as I said before, it's the crack in the dam that won't. You can't seal this up. You can't seal
No,
this up. The whole point is now conspiracy theories and asking these really weird questions. Are they cloning people underground? Are they doing these things to our children? Are they having baby farms? Is not an out there question anymore. It's now a legitimate concern, and that can't be undone. The psyche
no.
of humanity has changed now. And that is a really positive thing in a sense of bringing it all to an end because they're all involved. All of these high level places are involved in it. And that can only be a good thing in such a terrible. It's the only, light at the end of the tunnel of this horrific stuff.
Yeah, you got to shine. Sunlight is the greatest disinfectant, isn't it? But
Yep.
that I think is why they're trying to deflect. So they're trying to deflect away from Israel, trying to deflect onto Russia and all that stuff. But also, what I've noticed is they're trying to ring fence it as it died when Epstein didn't kill himself, and it's in the past.
Yep.
Just like they did with the child sexual abuse inquiries here in the UK. It was all in the 80s, wasn't it?
Yes.
Yeah, it was Rolf Harris and Jimmy Savile and whoever else, like Gary Glitter. It was all going on in the 80s. It's not now. And they're trying to do that, I think,
Mm.
with and they are actually are openly saying that in the media, like this harks back to an age of. It's like it doesn't fucking hark back anywhere, mate. Like as I said in monologue this week, like a pedophile doesn't stop being a pedophile because they lose internet connection. They just get another provider.
Yes.
So just because Epstein's gone, if he isn't, if he even is gone, let's have it
Mm.
right.
Yeah.
Um, doesn't mean that oh no, it's all right now. Everyone's all right now. It's like no, mate. Like I want to see arrests. I want to see people. I want to see these fuckers paraded in the streets, mate.
Yeah. I want to see arrests. I want to see excavations, deep excavations in New Mexico and the island and St. Bart's and Thomas Island and all those surrounding islands. I want to see what they've been up to and if anything at all, because there is evidence that they absolutely have. And it goes deep into the Jack Parsons, the occult, Aleister Crowley, atomic weapons. The thing is that when you start pulling on this string, as I've done the last 4 years of research, it all unravels into a very dark occult and messianic technocratic agenda that, as your dad said, it all comes together because this is the frayed bit of the string that people pull on this and it all does unravel for them, all of them.
Yeah,
And it's not going to go away. And what's great now is that these are legitimate questions and people don't just turn around and go like, what you talking about, you nutter. They go, oh shit, there is some truth to this horrible stuff. And that's a good thing. And we should be proud of that, that we weathered that storm, all of us, every single one of us who've done podcasts and put videos out for the last 15, 20 years, all the guys that came before us. And
yeah,
we should be proud of that because we never let it go. And that is what it's all about.
yeah,
And hopefully in our lifetime, we'll see an end to this and the whole thing will fall down. But we've done our bit, and I feel very proud to be part of the people that have done the right thing at the times when it hasn't been popular to do so for a long time. Your dad probably the most prominent in that. And
well,
this
it's a
is
weird
it. Garage
thing.
biology, designer babies and human cloning.
It's a weird thing though, because like I thought this, I said this the other day on socials, like more thinking about my dad. Like you get vindicated on something after so long. Normally, when you get vindicated, you're, depending on what it is, it's either joy or relief, at
Mm,
freaking last. Whereas I think with this, you don't have those emotions, do you? Because actually, deep down, I think everyone wanted to be wrong, didn't they? Like, do you know what I
yeah.
mean? Like, I'd rather be wrong about all this stuff
You have
because
this mixed
it's a nicer world
emotions.
if you're wrong, right?
Yeah, there's a mixed feeling about it all. But
Yeah, it's
that's
a weird
that's the
one.
game, isn't it? It's a mixed feeling. You're glad that this coming to light, but you wish it wasn't true.
Yeah.
So, but it is, and that's reality. Unfortunately, the world is fucked up. Let's lighten the load. An archaeology team in Utah examined a bottle of alcohol. How old do you think it was? Exhumed, not examined.
Exhumed a bottle of alcohol.
It was really old.
Oh, it is really old. I wondered if this was like a double bluff, if it was
No,
going to
no,
be from like 2019 or something.
no.
Okay, a bottle of alcohol. So are we going old school, like freaking moonshine or something? Go on, 1700s.
Yeah, not far off. 150 years old. And they give it to experts and they tasted it. Imagine like you would shit yourself before a disco bath if you had that, wouldn't you? You really
Yeah,
would. Look,
yeah.
Ian Wright, I'm not sure it's the footballer, but I'm not counting it out. Utah State public archaeologist. Do you imagine Ian Wright is an archaeologist?
I think it'd be great at be
I
called
love it.
brother.
Said the bottle was among thousands of artifacts dating back to approximately 1870 to 1890, found in the US forest. And then they had a drink. So when they picked it up, it was still full. So that wouldn't have been anything left by our descendants, I wouldn't have thought. It still had a cork in it. Definitely not one of my family.
What I
Absolutely
love
not.
about this though is it shows how young America is. Because if you found something here from the 1870s, no one give a shit.
Yeah.
No one give a shit. Yeah, all right, that's like last week, mate, in our history.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
what? I was in a pub once. You'll be shocked to know. I was
Yeah.
in a pub once down in Battle, near the Battle of Hastings, hence the name. And behind the bar, this guy was chatting, the landlord, and he picked up this bottle of whiskey and he showed it to someone next to me and then put it back. And I was like, I'd never seen that whiskey before. I was like, what is that? And he bought it off a shipwreck. So they'd found some ancient shipwreck going back into like the 1600s, like take that, America, to like the 1600s. And he bought it at some auction thing. And I was like, fuck, can you drink that? Like, no chance. And he was like, oh, no, 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 no. He said, have a whiff. And I like you took the cork, which the cork wasn't old. The cork was like a new cork they'd give it, obviously,
Yeah.
because it would have disintegrated. And I whipped, and you could smell the whiskey, but you could smell salt water because it had salt water in it. So you
Was there
wouldn't
a moment when
get
you
it.
thought, I'm gonna
I
fucking
kind of
nick
want to
it?
try it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but no, you could smell the whiskey, and we're talking like hundreds of years old with that. And yeah, it'd gone on a shipwreck off the coast of Scotland, I think, or whatever. And he bought it, yeah, at some auction. I was like, that's cool. I mean, I don't have the money to buy shit like that at an auction, but if I did, that would be cool.
Just to tell the story, which is kind of quite a cool marketing thing to get you there and chatting and selling more beer, which is quite
Yeah,
clever, really. I had this
come in
thing.
and smell my salty liquid.
I was with Gary, you know Gary, a couple of weeks ago. Everybody knows Gary. A
Everyone
couple of
knows
weeks
Gary.
ago at Lloyd's, and I don't drink, guys. I haven't drunk for about 7 years, and I bought him a Guinness, and I had the such overwhelming urge to stick my face in it.
Oh, mate, yeah. The first
Honestly,
gulp of a Guinness is good, man.
and I've always liked Guinness, but it was like honestly, I had to kind of almost do a little run to the table in case I stuck my face in it. I was like, oh, I really want to stick my face in it. Anyway, so Ian Wright said the find is the only known intact bottle of alcohol to be found from the time period. They sometimes find them in Missouri and in places where Mississippi, which is a great name for a pub, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah,
Just an
yeah.
all-female pub.
Sippy.
Yeah. Has shifted and has been a sunken boat or a ship, but never in Utah. We rarely find a bottle with a cork in it. Or if we do find one, the cork shriveled up and shrunk inside of it or fragments of it. But then they drank it. I don't know if they're still alive. I don't know how they're doing.
Yeah.
But that was a 150-year-old bottle. And I just like the fact they thought, drink this.
You may as well drink it though. I'm like that. Like I think if I had a bottle of whiskey or something, someone gave it to me and it was like it's worth like 100 grand. Well, yeah, I'd obviously sell it then. But if it was worth like 300 quid, I think you'd have to drink it, wouldn't you? Like I got given that bottle of wine, and I told you about last week. It's like 89 quid or something mad. Like I probably won't drink it on my own. In fact, I know I won't drink it on my own, but like I'll drink it with my mum or whatever. Like it will get drunk. Like I don't see the point in people that do that. Like I've got a mate that spent 100 grand on a watch.
Fucking hell. Who is this?
Well,
I,
he inherited a load of. I mean, he earns crazy money anyway, but he inherited a load of money, and so he bought this watch as an investment, and it's already worth loads more than he bought it for. That's what it was for, basically. It was an investment rather than putting the money in the bank, which I get. But he bought this lovely watch and then just put it in a safety deposit box straight away, and then in a bank, done in a safety deposit box. So I'm like, but I'd want to wear it. And I understand not wearing it because then it might get nicked or damaged and you can't sell it.
I'd
Like, I get
so
it.
leave
But
it
it's
in
like,
Weatherspoons.
but it's, yeah, if I'm going to buy something, it's to have or use or drink or eat or whatever.
I
Like, I
suppose
don't
if you
see the
got
point
that
of
amount
both.
of money, Gaz, going around, you just think different,
Yeah,
don't you? Your
I
psyche's
suppose you do.
different.
Yeah, I
You're not
don't
thinking, oh,
think.
I'll get up today, I've got to pay the mortgage at the end of the month. You're not thinking that way. You're thinking, oh, I'm a bit bored. Let's go buy a watch. It's a different psyche.
Yeah, I suppose it is. Yeah. I mean, there's certain things about people with money that I look at and I think, yeah, that's what money's for. Like, if you had a load of money, I'd definitely do that. You know, people that just go off traveling and just fuck off and just
Or buy a
enjoy
private
the
island.
world for a year. Well, maybe not. You know, that idea of a private island's been tainted, hasn't it, recently?
A little bit.
But I do like, yeah, I mean, the idea of like buying land and with a lake that you can like fucking sail on and like that I look at that and I think, yes, mate. When I look at people that have loads of money and then buy like an apartment in downtown London or downtown like New York, I think, what's the fucking
You
point?
get nothing for your money either.
You get nothing for your money. That costs you 10 million quid, like, or whatever, some of those ridiculous apartments. You're like, and your view is of like crack addicts. It's like, move to Derby, mate. Give me 9 million.
Yeah.
You keep 1 million. You get a freaking mansion, mate.
Fill it up with crack addicts. Do you
But like, I'm with
whatever
them,
you want.
yeah. If you still like looking at them, you can employ them to sort of walk around the garden like zombies. I mean, there's plenty of them in Derby
Oh, that'd
on
be
the fucking
amazing.
amber shit. They're
You
great.
could literally employ them, crack addicts, as zombies in a paintball, like free for all, and then you could get your like stag doos come round and shoot the crack addicts with paintballs whilst they're
Yeah.
off their head on crack. There's
Well,
a business.
that's what downtown Derby. Well, you know, don't you?
Yeah.
Like sometimes when I used to live in the city, obviously I don't anymore. I'd walk around, especially if it was nighttime, and I'd think, "Oh fuck!" Like I'm in the Thriller video. I didn't realize they were shooting today, and then you realize that no, they're not
Yeah.
extras, mate. They're all off their head.
The amount of time when I leave the office, I have to literally army crawl to Tesco's, forward roll in front in through the door just to get myself some Pringles and maybe a
Yeah,
sandwich on the way out. And it's hazardous to get to the hotel. And you've got
yeah.
different routes, and you have to mix up your routes in case they follow you down a little
Oh yeah.
alleyway.
If you become predictable, they'll have you.
They'll have you, yeah. They
Yeah,
will
St.
have you,
Peter's
yeah.
Street, where that is awful. So I'll tell you the story about a guy that I used to train. He doesn't live here anymore. A Scottish guy called David, lovely bloke. Anyway, he's a lovely man, but he's fucking unit. Like he's a big guy, big, strong, muscly guy. So you
Like
wouldn't
me,
fucking you just like you. So you
yeah.
wouldn't pick on him. Anyway, he's had his headphones in and he's walking through town, and this guy came up to him and went, "Give me your phone."
Yeah.
But it's something like from a sketch. I told you, like, he's like, "You what?" He's like, "Give me your phone." He's like, "Fuck off." Put his ear thing back in and just carried on walking. And the guy's like, "That's
That's not how it goes.
not how it goes. You're supposed to just hand it to me."
Yeah.
And then, so then, like, obviously, the guy's then thinking, "Okay, I'll see you later." And just fucked off. I just
Yeah.
love it.
I use the phone box. Yeah.
What do you mean you have my phone?
Go on then. What's the next one?
This is mad. Right. So not this Sunday, but the Sunday after, I've got a guy called Harry Miller from an organization called Fair Cop.
Harry Miller, the serial killer.
Harry Miller, yeah, relation of Windy Miller from Trip to Trumpton or Camberwick Green on it. But anyway, he was a copper many years ago, and then gone off and become a businessman or whatever. But he got done by the police for a tweet. Right, this was like in when this stuff was in its infancy, and so he ended up basically because he knows the law, he fought back and won, and then he represents people, and they often win.
Hmm.
So they don't like him very much, but it's quite funny. Anyway, he was telling me this crazy story where basically there was a copper who was a transgender copper. So it's a bloke who has become a woman apparently,
That's taken a turn. I didn't think it was. I'm
and
trying
is
to
a
get my head around
copper,
that.
and it basically was just targeting him online, like just with abuse and threats and all this kind of stuff. So he's like, hang on a minute, this person's a copper. So then goes through, I think, 3 or 4 different police forces that it could have been that they work for because of where they lived. Found out which one it was and went, by the way, is this your officer? And they were like, oh yes,
Sort
shit.
of.
So they did a basically an investigation and whatever, and that person got a warning, but carried on abusing and all this sort of stuff. And in the end, they got fired, right? For basically, they got fired for stalking him online and targeting him with abuse and threats.
Hang on
Okay.
a minute. Can we? So we've got an ex-copper who got done for a tweet that now sticks up for other people to get done for tweets. Who's getting stalked by another ex-copper who's a
No,
transvestite
yes. So was a current copper stalking him, then
at
became
the
an
time.
ex-copper, but continued stalking him. Anyway, 2 years goes by, and some police turn up at his place of work, which is like a dock. He owns this business at a dock. So he's like, it's not abnormal for the police to turn up because there's lots of employees, lots of machinery, stuff, health and like whatever. So he's like, yeah, what's up? And this copper is basically wanting to go and question him over accusations of stalking. So
Or
he's
the other way
like,
around.
so he's like, well, who am I meant to have stalked? So it transpires that
Transpires. Yeah.
they're they're investigating him for stalking the former police officer
Who's now a
who
lady.
who lost their job, for stalking him. Right. So it's gone full circle. To which he goes, well, I'm in Lincolnshire, they're in Leicestershire. I've had no communication with them. I've not tweeted at them. I've not had anything to do with them. How the frickin' hell have I stalked them? What is your evidence that I stalked them? Guess what the evidence is that he stalked them?
I don't know right now. Anything.
The evidence that he stalked them is that he had them fired for stalking him.
It's
He's,
like when you stick the two ends of the batteries together, they just don't compute.
doesn't make any sense. So I'm sat there going, I don't, I don't understand. But that was literally it. That was it. And that he was under caution, being questioned because she stalked, I'm saying she, they stalked him. They lost the job. He got done for stalking because they lost the job for stalking him.
It's a little bit like Hitler saying, just blame them for what you're doing, and therefore it kind of com the brain just doesn't compute.
No, but it gets better.
Go on,
So he stands up and says, right, am I under arrest? To which the police officer, a guy Khan, I think Detective Khan or whatever, says,
Chaka.
no, no, you're not under arrest. And he says, right, well, you are. It's like, what? He's like, I'm arresting you. I'm making a civilian's arrest on you, citizen's arrest on you, because you twice in this interview have threatened me with physical harm or whatever. So he's like, I'm arresting you. To which this officer's like, what? He's like, yeah, so you can come with me. I'm going to take you to the cell, right? This is why this guy makes me laugh. He said, to which two police officers then come in and de-arrest him. Obviously, they
How,
de-arrest
how do you do that?
I don't know,
Do you come
but
in backwards like this?
yeah,
If people are listening, I'm walking backwards.
he's unarrested. Um, he said, but this where it gets funny is one of them then says to him, "Go and hide." To which this detective, he said, gets up and runs out and goes off and hides somewhere in the prison in the police station, so that he can't go and arrest him again
Wait a minute, where did they get to the police station?
because he's being interviewed under caution.
Oh, they
At
took
the
him to the
police
police
station. Yeah,
station.
yeah, yeah. He had to go voluntarily at first,
Right,
but this,
okay.
this was where he says,
I'm still picturing us back at the docks.
"No, they've gone from the docks.
Right.
They're at the thing now. It's crazy town." But it was basically a
It'd be
whole.
even funny if he dressed up as a woman to
Oh,
hide, wouldn't
mate.
it?
Well, they did that. So he showed us photos of them going on these big pride marches, and he stood posing in a woman's outfit with like the head of Derbyshire Police, the head of Nottinghamshire Police, like he goes to all of these ones, holding banners that are like "kill turfs," like real like death threat stuff, and he's holding it, and they've seen it, and they're posing with him, like they're fine with it. He's quite funny, to be honest. And it was an hour of me going, "What? But that's mental."
See, this is what Trump meant when the police have got better things to do.
Yeah, they should be arresting people or at least
Each other. Or playing
questioning
hide and
people.
seek.
Yeah,
Cross-dressing
hide
hide and seek.
hide in the police station so you don't get arrested by a member of the public who you're trying to arrest for harassment because they got someone fired for harassing them. I mean, where'd you even begin with that shit, mate? It's a mad world, isn't it?
I could just think of Benny Hill running around a tree at double speed.
But what I did find interesting from it is we obviously were talking about like earlier with Epstein and the fact that it doesn't matter in terms of the partisan, like they're all fucking awful. Like
Yeah.
they're like he was making the point that all the hate crime, the non-crime hate legislation, so you could be arrested and done for stuff that you've not. It's not a crime, but you still whatever. And he was making the point that actually he didn't realize that he had a criminal record and that criminal record is a non-crime criminal record, but it shows up on a DBS check. So, for instance, he said to me, he said, someone like you, with what you've said online, what you've said on the show, you would almost certainly have a criminal record within some police
Bracket.
force within this country. So that, say I went for a job coaching a kids' football team or went for a job doing whatever, and they do a DBS check, it would come up and I wouldn't even need to know about it.
Yep.
They will come up and say, "Oh, sorry, we can't give you the job." What? Well, you've got a criminal record here for hate speech or a danger to the trans community or whatever.
Mm.
And you could be like, what? But I haven't I've never been arrested. What do you mean? But you could end up like not being able to get a job. He was like, it's mad. He
Yes,
said,
Palantir stuff.
he said you yeah, he said you can find out. He said, but you need to know the specific force. And the problem is with it being online stuff, is the person who's seen your tweet and reported it to the police could be any police force. Oh, you don't know where they live,
Mm.
but that's where it's registered. So I live in Derbyshire, but I could be registered in, say, Cornwall, and that would come up on a, it was absolutely insane. But he was telling me all this stuff anyway. But it's the Tories that brought all that in. So you look at Labour and you go, oh, Labour arresting people for speech and non-crime hate incidents. It was the Tories that brought all of that in. So it doesn't matter who you vote for, mate.
But the thing is though, when everything's a crime, nothing's a crime.
Well, yeah, that's it. It's
It
the
gets
same.
to a point you
When
just think,
everything's anti-Semitism, nothing is. It's the
yeah,
same. Yeah, all of
it's a
it.
free for all. Um, my next one. I don't even know how long we've gone for now. See, you like a Guinness Book of Records, don't you?
I do.
World records.
I like a book, and I
Um,
like records.
you like book and you like records. I've got about 10 minutes, I think. A serial Guinness World Record breaker, David Rush, balanced what on his chin for 19 minutes and 11 seconds? It's not
Uh,
someone's balls.
a bowl of cereal, if he's a cereal record breaker.
That's true, but it's not true. It's not.
Okay, what did he balance on his chin for how long?
19 minutes and 11 seconds.
A banana,
No, bigger than a banana.
a baguette.
No, it's not a food item.
Okay, it's not a food
It's not a food
item.
item.
A rampant rabbit.
That's a dildo, isn't it?
It is.
No,
I'm going that shape. I don't know why. Am I in the right ballpark with the shape?
absolutely not. With dildos, you're in the completely wrong ballpark.
Um,
Okay, I'll give you something that a painter decorator might use.
a ladder.
Yeah, 19 minutes,
That's pretty impressive, mate.
isn't it?
Yeah.
19 minutes, and he also balanced his brother as well, the step ladder. Kush, who holds the most concurrent Guinness World Record titles, he's done loads.
Good lad.
Name's Kush. Initially set the record for the longest duration balancing a ladder on his chin in 2016, but he weren't happy with that.
No.
So he was practicing within time of sorry, it's 5 minutes and 31 seconds, his initial one. So he really completely just demolished it. It marks his 10th Guinness World Records title. He's got 10. He broke the record again in 2018 with the time of 11 minutes, we just said. Rush has now retaken the record with a time of 18 minutes. I don't know where Rush come from. Oh, it's Rush. Sorry, I saw Kush, but it's Rush. So you've got Ian Rush and doing world records here, and you've got Ian Wright doing whatever he was doing before, which I've absolutely forgot about, which was
He found a bottle of booze, didn't he?
found a bottle of booze. That's it.
I'm more impressed with ladder face than I was last week with a 2-year-old smacking balls on a pool table. I've got to say,
Oh yeah, that wasn't great, was it? Yeah, because he
wasn't
was just
great.
young. He was just
Just
young.
a small kid smacking a ball.
Yeah.
I'm yeah, 19 minutes of that
Uh,
with a ladder.
yep.
Pretty
On his
impressive.
chin. Ian Rush has now taken the record with a time of 18 minutes 11 seconds. Ironically, he says, the stopwatch used had a slight error, and the true time should have been read 19 minutes and 13 seconds. That's not a slight error, that's nearly a minute. Because of that, I technically lost 2 seconds on paper.
There's also no irony there whatsoever.
No,
There's absolutely none. There's
no,
nothing ironic about that. The only way that would be ironic is if he was balancing a
but
fucking stopwatch on his
yeah,
chin. Then it
there's
would be
no,
ironic.
no. I
I
love
love
it when
how
people
people use
use,
terms like ironic all
yeah,
the time. It's like Alanis Morissette just reeling off a bunch of shit that's not ironic and
it's
saying
not
isn't it
ironic.
ironic. But then is that the double bluff? I've used that term twice today. Is the irony that none of it's ironic?
Well, ironically, you've used double bluff twice today.
Yeah.
Does that make
Who
sense?
knows? I don't know Alanis. I don't know like do you know what I mean? How much she's thought about it, whether she just thinks it's ironic to die in a
I
plane
think
crash.
she got one or two ironics. It's a bit like catchphrase. They got one or two catchphrases, and then after the first, second season, the catchphrases that we all used ended. So then they start putting pictures together that could make up some sort of word.
Well, it's like, what was it, 10,000 spoons when all you need is a knife? It's like, that's ironic if you're a knife salesman. Otherwise, it's not
But it's
really.
not ironic.
It's just not ironic,
It's
really.
just a
Yeah,
pain in the ass.
it's annoying. Yeah,
Yeah.
not wanting to get on a plane and then the plane crashing. It's not irony. It's just really shit luck, mate. Isn't it?
What is
Rain
irony?
on your wedding day as well.
Shit luck.
Yeah, that's called weather.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think there's any irony in that. It's like you can precipitation. I think it's irony.
There you go. So there you go. There's the ladder one. We got one more.
No, absolutely not.
Hey, where
That's
can I
me
get the
done, mate.
CBD?
I'm out. I focused a lot today on my daughter shitting on the carpet. Like that was sort of
It's,
like
it's the best part of the show so far. It's some
kids
good
are so
bits.
funny, aren't they, mate? Honestly, like they're just so funny.
Ollie's getting he's got a really good sense of humor. He's very weird. He's a odd child, but in a really funny way. Arthur started picking up on the odd swear word, which always makes me laugh. My last one: fuck Elon Musk and every billionaire abuser. Have you seen this? I don't know if this is true, but it looks like people are putting the Epstein files, emails on bus stops. I don't think this is true, but it's such a good idea. Because, like, when we our UBI and our social credit score, and when we misbehave, they'll put our pictures up on the big TVs. We should stick their emails up on
Oh,
the big
mate,
TVs.
yeah. Why not?
Great idea.
Why not? Yeah, why not? Yeah, fuck them.
Well,
I think we should go hell for leather on these bastards.
yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I don't know if
absolutely.
that's real. And George Galloway was my last one. What a prick. Saying horrible stuff about your dad years ago, and now he's coming out saying exactly what your dad was saying years ago.
Yeah, I mean, I think Galloway. I mean, he's hiding out in China at the minute, isn't he? I think because
Under his
obviously
black hat,
they
his
they
black
tried to
Shabbat hat.
like arrest him and all that stuff. Like, I think play devil's avocado. I think he's probably realised in the last 5 years the world is not what he thought it was, and so we'll see whether there's a an acknowledgement of how much he used to mock Dad. I don't know.
Yeah, he's a prick.
See what happens.
I think
He's far
he's
from the only one that did,
yeah, yeah, of
you
course he
know.
isn't.
But we'll
No,
see.
but he's also pulling out all the stuff saying that he's everything your dad was saying he's saying now, and as if he's some sort of, you know, incredible journalist when he's an absolute douchebag. I've never been a big fan of his, and I just think he's clearly deeply involved with some stuff he shouldn't be. He's highly entrenched in it, and don't like him.
Well, I read yesterday, and I don't know if this is true or not, and I couldn't verify it. So I'm going to prefix it with a I don't know if this is true, but I would love it if it was.
Hmm.
Jeremy Corbyn had apparently phoned up Lord Mandelson and just laughed down the phone until Mandelson hung up on him. But it was written by a politics account, but quite a big politics account, and it didn't say parody or anything on it. So I
Right.
don't know if it's true or not. I'd love it if it
Oh,
was.
he's so good at
It would
it.
be so
Yeah.
funny if it was, but it's one of them. It's probably not, to be
Well,
fair.
where can people get their CBD from?
You can head over to supremecbd.uk, use the code WTAF. You get bloody 40% off everything.
Bloody hell. And you can head over to iconic.com, check out all the work we do, the weekly shows. We've got a number of shows we do each. I'm literally finishing off Classified right now, which is about the post-flood Nephilim and everything that probably will come true in the next 200 years. You can find it first on iconic.com.
There's a Nephilim in those Epstein file videos.
Fucking is. Yeah.
Fucking huge. That's Barron
Well,
Trump's dad, is it? Fuck me.
Baron Trump is a Nephilim.
100%.
Yep. All of him. See you later.
Bye.